It doesn't matter anymore that you were down 3-0. You are now 3-2 in the same position you were in last series, having to go on the road to extend your season. So at this point, almost everything is out the window. It's just a 3-2 series. The 3-0 doesn't matter anymore. It's fun for the graphics and the no team has ever. It's a 3-2 series, and you're the better team, and you're expected to win each of the next two games if you show up and play. Joe Mazzulla at the podium, who has all of a sudden gained an incredible amount of wisdom and perspective in the last 5 or 6 days, which is really incredible. It kind of summed up.
He saw his life flash before his eyes, I think.
He had his come to Jesus moment.
Saw his life flash before his eyes. He got a second chance.
Yeah. And so this is kind of his perspective about the first 3 games versus the last 2 games.
Joe, what's led to the connection? I mean, after game 3,
it's always Gary.
Oh, man, Gary.
Were disconnected a little. And the last 2 games, something on the floor, off the floor. Jalen talked about that dinner they had before game 4. Like, what happened?
It's the salmon.
One of our assistants put it in great perspective. The season's like 9 months long, and we just had a bad week. Sometimes you have a bad week at work, and we obviously didn't pick the best time to have a bad week, but we did, and we're sticking together and fighting like hell to keep it alive. And the guys are really coming together.
Is the cause to come back from this brought the guys together? I know it's a pretty obvious answer, but how has it, and has it?
I mean, I think it's just your back's against the wall. You don't have a choice, and so it builds a connection and it builds, just an opportunity. And so, like I've said it all year, the guys in that locker room, they always stick together. And when our backs are against the wall, we just have to continue that.
Oh boy, bad week at work.
Can't relate. Never had one.
CLNS Media's Celtics coverage is brought to you by FanDuel. New customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's bonus bets back if your first bet doesn't win.
Yep.
Well, it plays well. I think in your in your little inner circle of friends. But reality is this wasn't a bad week at work. This was a bad stretch. Period. You have to be at your best now. I will say this. I give Joe a lot of props for the way he handled things. And he seems to have started to figure out how to manage the game better. Because remember, in the fourth quarter, they open up with 6 straight. Miami comes back and scores 6 straight. Timeout. You're up 18, but he said, timeout. We're going to stop this. Mm-hmm. That is the stuff that he does not do consistently well at. Figuring out when do I need to put a cap on this run, or when to let the guys play through stuff. That's the next level for him. He had a good game today. This was a good game, but I'm not buying
2 good games.
Yeah, I'm not buying that we had a bad week's crap. No, Joe, because the things that you did wrong that week, you had done them wrong before.
Right.
Yeah, the thing is, it's almost like like the whole psychologist, how do you seek help? Someone who seeks help, first they have to, want the help. They have to
acknowledge we have a problem.
You have to want to change. Otherwise, you don't go to therapy, So right. The Celtics never really wanted to change. Every time you'd see what was going on, it was fine. We just missed some shots. We just whatever.
We'll get them next game.
It's like, I'm fine. Your wife just moved out, and you're broke. You're not fine. You're down.
You have no gas money.
You're not fine.
Yeah.
But
you've been on my couch for a week. You're not fine. Trust
all
me.
You've eaten for a week is just peanut butter with a spoon. You're not fine.
I've never seen so many Hot Pockets in one freezer in my life.
So you have to admit it. You're not fine. But so that acknowledgement that there's some sort of thing going on here, I think happened, which was maybe it's not just the math. Maybe it's not just shooting threes. Maybe it's the defense. Maybe I do have to call timeouts. And so whatever it is, there's some change. They're doing things differently here, whether it's just simply the pressure or they actually just adjusted and said, we got to win this way and let's not worry about this and let's not worry about that, So great, good on Joe. I'm glad to hear it. The acknowledgement, even to hear him say it was a bad week is better because other times he'd be like, it was fine, it was fine, nothing went wrong.
It was a great week.
Great week. What are you talking about? Hey,
we
Joe,
had
did you like?
intentions of we had
One
the
of our best
intentions of
weeks that we've
having a
ever
good
had,
week.
Yeah, Joe,
Our
did you
intentions
like
were
last
to
week?
well.
Yeah, it was great. Why?
we had more better days than they did.
So I mean, it's fine. That's good. It's better. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah, this was. He gets a semi-victory lap for this one because he did a good job. He did a good job, but Game 6 is going to be a completely different animal.
Yeah, it is funny though that we're praising him for calling timeouts, which is like one of the most basic things you think a coach could do. It's like it's the only aspect of Joe's job that all of us could do. It literally is. It's the only part of being a coach that all of us could do.
Right, just like gauging the situation and just now seems like a good time for a timeout. How many fans know exactly when to call timeout? They're in the stands being like timeout.
Yes, I could call a timeout. I couldn't tell them what to do when they came off. I would just be like, "That sucked,"
Don't do that.
Don't do that again. But yeah, so like it's nice that he's doing it. It's like, again, like when a 2-year-old gets the food in their mouth, like, oh, that's so good, you did it. So he's doing it. But they were great. They're with conviction. The best part about him, Sherrod, is it's not just the stopping runs timeouts. It's the I don't like what I just saw. The bad possession with Jalen, which was a beautiful, and a well-deserved, talked about moment from game 4. And then this one where you had Jalen force 2 bad shots and then Marcus throws a bad pass. And he's like, again, I don't like the last couple trips down. Stop doing that. Those are great. The one you mentioned in the fourth quarter, that's command. You're taking control. It's great.
Yeah. This was, like I said, this was definitely one of his better moments on the sideline. And even when he wasn't calling timeouts, just the activity on the sideline. I mean, his hands were constantly moving, just getting their attention. He was as engaged as I've seen him on the sideline in any game this season. And to me, that trickles down to your team because they recognize that this coach is coaching with a sense of urgency. So we need to play with a sense of urgency.
This edition of the Garden Report is also brought to you by Athletic Greens. Visit athleticgreens.com/garden for a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase.